Welcome, 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 Duval. Shout out to the internet and all of Jacksonville for that little gem we all got this past week. Fun fact: Jacksonville and Duval are both the largest city and county in the state of Florida. See that? We are less than 60 seconds into Talent Experience Live, and you've already learned something today. As I mentioned, it is noon Eastern time. Thursday here on the East Coast, which means it's time for Talent Experience Live, the show that covers everything that you need to know in talent acquisition, recruiting, talent management, human resources as a whole, as well as today, direct sourcing. Talent Experience Live is proudly brought to you by the good folks here at Phenom, whose purpose is to help 1 billion people find the right work. That is why we host this program, why we have I Am Phenom coming up in March, why we've hosted a plethora of fantastic webinars over the past few weeks, 2025 talent acquisition trends, how to have a fantastic implementation, and so much more. So head on over to phenom.com to check that out, where you will also learn how we achieve our purpose. And that is through our intelligent talent experience platform, which helps candidates find the right fit faster, employees evolve in their current roles and beyond, recruiters achieve next level productivity and efficiency, and managers get to build better teams through data analytics and automation. All of this is powered by super slick artificial intelligence and machine learning. So once this program wraps up, don't walk to phenom.com, register for I Am Phenom using promo code TXL. Check out all of our fantastic assets and content and everything in between. But of course, wait till Talent Experience Live comes to a full stop, because today we have a fantastic topic. A couple weeks ago, a colleague of mine, Joanna Keel, stopped by the office to chat specifically about the ultimate solution for managing contingent talent at scale. This episode is all around direct sourcing. So obviously, Phenom, very well known for our career sites, our talent management, our intelligent talent experience. But the one gap that we heard from customers oftentimes having is where they would have short-term or project-based roles. And our solution to that was direct sourcing. Joanna mentions on this episode that 64 million, that's million with an M, independent workers are solely focused on this direct sourcing or contract sort of roles. That's 60 or 37% of Fortune 500 companies. So this is obviously a need for many organizations, and Joanna dives very deeply into it. She is a wealth of knowledge and excited to share this particular episode with you. So without any further hesitation, please enjoy the conversation between me and Joanna. Thanks so much. Welcome, Joanna, to the program. How are you today?
Oh, I am doing good. How are you?
I am excited about the topic at hand today. We're talking about direct sourcing. And I'm going to jump right, out of the pot and into the fire here. What exactly is direct sourcing, and why is it becoming essential for businesses today?
Well, you know what? Everybody knows what direct sourcing is, but it's called about 10 million things. So that's probably why you're confused. And depending on where you're dialing in for this particular episode, even there's a lot of regional differences. So direct sourcing is really all about hiring that contractor or contingent worker. It's that non-permanent employee. So direct sourcing is talking about how do you source that employee, hire them, and then remain compliant, for whatever project or task that you may be hiring them for.
Do you think that this is becoming more relevant in today's day and age with, I think about economical changes where, childcare may be a struggle for, people. Maybe they just have a little bit of a short attention span. I think we all have a little bit of a short attention span, but they want to hop from project to project. Is this becoming more and more relevant for organizations into 2025?
Yeah, so what you're seeing here is a mix. You're seeing massive growth in this area of hiring contingent workers or contract workers. In fact, there's like a statistic out there that's about 37% of the Fortune 500 do this. Normally, they're going to do it next year and the year after and the year after and year after. Why are they doing this? Is because they're taking on more projects. So maybe they don't need to increase their employee headcount to then lay them off later on down the road. Hiring these people might be a really great way for you to accomplish certain things within your business and then say goodbye.
Super transparent. I think of, almost, we talked about a topic last week, HVH, seasonal work, that kind of stuff, where you understand that there is a slow season or an end date, right? And that makes sense. I want to ask you, why is it so, important now? It almost seems like you could just post a job that says part-time, right? And then your problems are solved. What makes this different than that scenario?
Yeah, I honestly think it all comes down to skills. So what you're seeing is the workforce developing these highly technical skills in certain areas. And those particular skill sets are highly desirable across many organizations, across many industries. So that when you're hiring these contract workers, you're looking for these highly leveled, skilled people at just this. And so these people learn that you and I to be like, oh, I am really good at being a producer of video programs. Maybe you'd want to go off and do your own thing and work for yourself, and then you'd contract yourself out to organizations. So I think it's finally come down to the employees going like, I can do this on my own. And there's now the demand from organizations to be able to hire you in that capacity. So
absolutely. It almost sounds like it's simplified, right? To an extent where I think of previously, let's say a candidate was to log on to a career site. They were only looking for a gig job or one of these contractor type roles. They'd have to check a box, right? And find it somewhere. Whereas now a technology, such as Phenom, for example, you could potentially upload a resume and you get a personalized experience for this type of work based on your previous work experience. Am I right there? Am I going down the right path?
So this is what is crazy.
Yeah.
With all the technology, you would think someone would land on a career site and all the jobs would be there, right? Wouldn't you think we're there today? Right? You would think so.
You'd think so.
We're not. Career sites often do not have contractor jobs. They're not posted there. They're using third-party agencies to go ahead and source those roles. They're giving them the jobs. They're just not there. And the reason is because that applicant is a little bit different, right? From a permanent, but only a little bit. The only real little bit part is that compliance piece, right? So now what we're doing is bringing back the sourcing. So now you're able to launch an experience that for candidates, regardless if they're a contractor worker or they're looking for permanent work, and the experience is the same. Because what's happening now is those contractors, they're going to your career site. And guess what? They're bouncing because they can't find their work. So this helps take that back and help you grow a pipeline. So when projects do come on board, because oftentimes recruiters are like, you're going to be getting this massive project that I need you to hire. There's significant time constraints for them. Mm-hmm. How are you supposed to source that in such little time, right? This now ability allows these contractors to stumble on your career site, which they're already doing, and actually apply to jobs or sign up for a talent community that could help them get notified once projects or tasks come up.
Makes complete sense because those candidates are different, right? Like I have many people on the program where I always ask, how did you get into HR, right? And they always, most of them, not all of them, say, well, I started in staffing, right? I kind of fell into it and then I found a passion here of helping people. And it's very interesting, where you mentioned the candidates are on your career site already. I read an article just the other day from SF Gate about ghosting jobs. So the job themselves that are posted on career sites isn't an actual opening. And there's a plethora of reasons for that, but it kind of gives candidates the wrong taste in their mouth. And especially for some of these roles where it's a part-time or a contracted role where an individual, hey, we have it, it's open for a month now. It's going to not be open for 6 months and then we'll open it up again. Right. People aren't maintaining those regularly, right?
That's right.
Having that talent pool and refreshing it and staying on top of those jobs is going to create for an overall better candidate experience, right?
Oh, undoubtedly. They're going to love the ease of feeling inclusion. Their process was very rocky from before. And now they're finally getting that experience. And you got to think that is their first glimpse at your business, right? They have so many options when it comes to choosing their next project. So you want to deliver that for them, because if they nail it on that project for whatever you're hiring on, guess what? You might want to offer them a full-time job, right? Or you might want to keep them in mind when another project arises. That was actually very hard to do before this type of solution is in place.
Especially if you're using some of those third parties, right? Like
Yeah.
where
Oh, yeah.
it's like, no, that's my candidate. You can't have them. Well, they worked here. We want them back. And then they could charge you a huge fee. But that's a whole nother conversation that we'll get into another day. I want to ask you, when it comes to direct sourcing, Phenom, we consider ourselves a titan in the industry. We have a plethora of great features to offer the traditional, candidate experience. One-click apply, the CRM, fit scores, things like that. How do those, and you can break them down one by one if you'd like, how do those come into factor with direct sourcing?
Yeah, so that's the beauty of it, right? Is one thing that's unique is that, like I said, it's almost crazy that this didn't exist before now, right? But the thing is it's with these we're solving for really deep challenges within the organization. But the beautiful part within this is that our CRM is still the backbone. So guess what? These applicants are going into your same flow. Everything you're used to with hiring a permanent employee, right, is the same exact thing for a contractor. But the beautiful piece is there, you're taking back that sourcing, right, from that third-party agency. So you're bringing that to your career sites through your campaigning, however you may be doing that through your CRM, most likely. And then the next piece of the screening, right? Sometimes the agencies would do that and they'd say, hey, here's your list of people that pass through the sourcing screen, You're taking that piece back. So now you can screen them in whatever way your organization likes to screen. So you're truly hiring what feels like a permanent employee, but you're not. And that contractor status remains there in the CRM, so you can easily sort, your contractor jobs from your permanent jobs. That is not difficult. With tags, I could indicate Devin is my contractor, not permanent. I can see all these things. So that's the beautiful part, is it just takes it back to what they're used to.
With that sorting aspect of it, how much can you get pretty granular with skills? Because I imagine these projects are not carbon copied, right? You're a multinational organization. A project you have in June may be completely different than a project you have in May, the following year, but could require a similar skill set. Can you filter down through that, and what does that look like for talent acquisition?
Same thing. And think of it too, like when you feed your CRM, right? It's learning from everything that you're trying to hire for. It's looking at your jobs. You're looking at certifications and particular skills required. So finally, right, if you're getting applicants coming in under these job descriptions, you're feeding that to your CRM and you're knowing what the skills are that you're looking for. There's bulk updates that you can do to the CRM to help you filter down and get really nitty gritty. We even have some AI features where you could ask X+, hey, can you help me find a contractor with this sort of certification, and whatever that is, type it in. And guess what? For the first time ever, it's right there alongside any other candidate, or if you want to put them together, you can. If you want to separate them, you can. But it's beautiful. It's the same workflow you're used to.
Absolutely. I recommend separating my overall organization is a complete mess. I got a brand new laptop. I'm trying to remain organized with it as fast as I can. It's going to turn into a disaster. I'm sure that happens with candidates as well.
Yes.
So when you have your contractors, maybe keep them in a separate tag, just so that you can stay on top of that. We mentioned that these candidates are a little bit different than your traditional full-time employee role. I know that firsthand from being a recruiter in a past life, where they respond better to SMS text messages, things like that. Are those features still readily available in this sort of direct sourcing format? And have you had conversations or heard of recruiters recruiting them a little bit differently than they would a full-time employee?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different features. And in the Contractor Hub especially, it's going to give you those deep analytics of things you think about with those types of workers. So some of those things that might be super important is start and end dates, right? Like maybe you have a project coming up and amazing, it just aligned with Devin's end date. So wouldn't it be great if you could just keep him on and start him in the next project rather than fire him, hire him? That's what's happening.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's truly what's happening. And then that's costing the organization, as you can imagine, so much time, so much money. And it all is now fitting into your normal workflow.
Yeah.
So it's really easy for recruiters to do. You would love it as a recruiter, actually.
Yeah, no, I would. Every day I'm like, did I make the wrong choice? No, I didn't, because I didn't have Phenom. But it's funny because you mentioned, and I've seen this firsthand, where there's a contractor, their current project is ending.
Yep.
And a new one starts, and they have a conversation with their third party or wherever it is. It's like, no, wait, we'd like to keep them on. They're continuing to have to pay an arm and a leg to keep those people on.
They are.
As that, and there's overhead costs and benefits and things associated, which is why it's so costly. They're not just robbing you, I promise. But I want to ask you, as I talk about my past, let's take a look at the future of direct sourcing.
Yeah.
And how is Phenom really positioned to, lead this evolution with this technology?
Yeah. So that's really interesting. So the future of direct sourcing, so hiring contingent or contractor work, that isn't going away, right? The future is really finding a tool that's flexible enough for your team to figure out what process can you take back. Oftentimes, these large TA teams have recruiters dedicated to hiring just these types of workers. Oftentimes, those employee or the non-employees' budgets comes out of a completely separate budget than from the organization itself. So that poses a significant challenge, right? So when you start to think about those futures, it's just saying, what changes can we make in incremental changes that can help us save time, that can help us save money, that we could utilize our existing relationships like vendors like Phenom that are willing to come to the table with you, hear you out, hear your processes, understand where those bottlenecks are, and say, we can solve that. So it's really about starting with those roles that you could easily take back. And we're talking millions of dollars in savings that you're paying these VMS or third-party agencies to do hiring on just some roles, not all roles, just some.
Yep.
So if you could roll that over into a vendor, that's not going to cost you that at all. That's going to be a huge win for your business.
No, millions.
Millions.
Is certainly a huge one.
Yeah.
The one thing I want to stress, though, is it did mention the incremental changes, right?
Yeah.
This isn't a huge lift for an organization to change overnight. And that's where success, I think, is truly found.
Yes.
Here we are in the month of January. People have all sorts of goals, whether it's to lose weight, run a marathon, improve their jump shot, whatever it may be at home. It doesn't start overnight, right? You have to make a change of your habits slowly but surely, and then it becomes no longer a resolution. It's just part of your daily life. And I think that there's a lot of similarities with making those small incremental changes in a technology that applies to this. Joanna, before we go, this is your camera right here. I want to give you the opportunity to speak into camera one and say, this is why you should get a demo for direct sourcing today, to anyone who may be on the fence about it.
Oh, there's people on the fence? How is
There could be.
Did they not hear the millions?
Sounds too good to be true.
Okay, hundreds of thousands?
Yes. Perfect. We got him now.
Okay, this is why you want a demo. You just need to see how seamless this truly is. That is where it's at, is that it starts at the career site. It really is delivering an experience that a contractor or a contingent worker has never had before. I think you'll be blown away to go like, that's it? Like you're looking for more, to be like, no, I need you to complicate it in some way because I'm used to like spreadsheets and really long processes. I'm not used to doing campaigning right to these workers. You want the demo just to walk away to be like, I didn't know that was even possible. That people are willing to step up and solve these major challenges for these recruiters. So it's all about allowing them to be more productive and have those human, meaningful interactions. And this is a really great way the recruiting team can bring impact to the business.
That's awesome. I mean, you had me at less spreadsheets, if we're being completely honest. I'll sign up for a demo today. Joanna, I want to thank you so much for having this conversation. Can't wait to have you on again in the near future. I know State of Canada experience might be coming up soon. But first, we have some other big events. I Am Phenom coming up as well.
Speaking of I Am Phenom,
let's have it. Let's hear it.
We're getting ready to post the breakout session.
Oh.
And there is a breakout session on direct sourcing. So I highly recommend when putting that in the universe you attend I Am Phenom, I would definitely check out that session. We're going to share some really good impacts of some customers that are using it.
Absolutely. I don't know if I have permission to do this, but promo code TXL if you'd like free tickets to I Am Phenom. I'm not going to put a banner up. You have to make it this far into the episode. And then you get them. Congratulations. They're yours. Joanna, thank you so much. Can't wait for that session coming up at I Am Phenom. Can't wait for the other fun and exciting stuff. But in the meantime, folks at home, request a demo for direct sourcing as soon as you can. And Joanna, thank you again. Have a great day.
Thank you.
All right.
Joanna, thank you so much for joining the program. We have to get you one of those recurring guest jackets. Again, fantastic topic, direct sourcing. We will have a session on it at I Am Phenom. So head on over to IamPhenom.com to get your tickets. You can use promo code TXL. We have a very special gold conversation that you personally at home will flip out over. So you won't want to miss this this conference, March 11th through the 13th in the city of brotherly love, also known as Philadelphia. I hope everyone has a safe, happy, healthy weekend. Tune in next week where we'll have another fantastic topic as always. And we're going to give out our Super Bowl predictions as well. I think it is time for that. There's only one football game left and we're all sad about it. But nonetheless, thank you so much for joining today. I hope everyone has a safe, happy, and healthy weekend. And we can't wait to see you next week. Have a great day.